Hello, everybody. We are talking about cheating all of the time because cheating's going on all of the time. Here, I have something special for you. A woman who wants you to know what she learned while dating married men on the famous Ashley Madison. I mean, everyone lies and many of the men are desperate creeps, says she. But for single women, it's an easy way to go on an expensive date without worrying about any money and any commitment. Last week, I went out with a very nice guy. We met at a story bar, think like the Stork Club, if it still existed, and had a great time. He was charming, polite, and incredibly attentive. He graciously picked up the tab and asked if he could see me again soon, and I said yes. He slipped me some cab fare, hailed me a taxi, and said goodnight. Now, before you ask, yes, I did. Yes, I didn't know this man was married. We met online on Ashley Madison, a dating site for those who are married but still looking to beg themselves an affair. Now, I'm a college-educated woman. If you're wondering, I'm in my early 30s. I come from a solid family. Oh, I don't have any daddy issues. I am single. I get the occasional bout of loneliness, but I'm not lonely enough, to get myself tied up with an actual boyfriend. I've got a career to build. I don't have time to spend on someone else's needs and wants and feelings. Not right now. Ashley Madison. She was an opportunity for me to meet people outside my immediate circles, which was better anyway. It could experience the best of the city, fine dining and drinks on someone else's dime. And best of all, I didn't have to put forth any commitment. None of these men already had rings on their fingers. If you're like me and you're thinking of taking the plunge into Ashley Madison, I would advise wading into this cesspool very carefully. This is what I've seen, heard, and learned. Most of the men I've met on Ashley Madison seem to think that they're done Draper. I mean to them if they order the right drink in old-fashioned, of course, and say the right things. Oh, I work in advertising, I'm in tech. Oh, I'm in fashion or finance. Women will give them their panties and just flat out bend right over. None of them are all of that charming. They don't know how to talk to women. Women really, saying LOL out loud is not really youthful wit, by the way. And how any of them ever manage to land themselves wives, like actual wives who are going to stay with them forever, it's beyond me. Let's take quote-unquote John, for instance. He was one of the first men to message me on the site. He was looking for that special someone with whom he could gaze at the stars with. John was your typical Ashley Madison customer. He was married, white, well-off, and a commuter, which was a bonus because when you have that, it allows them to keep their affairs separate from anything else. After exchanging a few messages, he finally mustered up the energy and the courage to ask me to dinner. I accepted and met him at this tacky bar just in Midtown East. In his pictures, he looked the part of a healthy and normal middle-aged father. The straight polo shirts, the running shoes, things like that. Meeting face-to-face, however, this was a different story. He was rumpled and he looked tired. His ill-fitting shirt and his khakis had a bit of lunch stained into them. It was a tense meeting, not unlike a bizarre job interview. I'd say, have you ever done this before? Why are you doing this? What's your favorite position? What's your favorite dessert? Despite a lack of chemistry, like a serious lack of chemistry, we trudged on to dinner. Partly because I'm an optimist, but mostly because I was just broke and I wanted to eat. He ordered a pasta bolognese and chewed with his mouth wide open. Later, as our date was winding down, he swiftly and firmly held my jaw in place and proceeded to kiss me, and he offered his intimacies to me. But squirming up of his greasy grasp, I hastily declined thankfully and never saw him again. I haven't eaten bolognese sauce since then. That's how bad it was. All of a sudden, here these men aren't smooth. They're hiding behind their computer screens trying to get laid. Why else would they be on Ashley Madison? Just ask yourself now, because Ashley Madison is an infested place of scammers and webcam girls and, sugar babies. Most men are elated if you give them any kind of response, even a nasty one. In order to contact prospective dates, these men have to shell out money now. Women, On the other hand, they can sit back and just wait for men to pay to message them. Even your reply to their message is like this flicker of hope in the dark and lonely abyss of the internet and the life they're living. Remember, this is a website for married people. Just because you're meeting cute or sexy people of the opposite sex, or whatever you're into, you can't forget that they're actually already attached. You're meant to be everything that their significant other is not. So that's what this means. Once they start messaging, you prepare yourself for all the venting and impromptu therapy sessions you'll be giving. You know, my wife never wants me. My wife is always nagging me. It's actually pretty exhausting, but there is an upside. When you're being compared with someone that they have already lost interest in, it's kind of impossible not to look great. There are more benefits to being the other woman. I suppose first, being these men are already married, it's kind of a bonus. Sometimes there are no domestic or familial expectations. They're already weighed down with all of that, and they just want to have fun with you now. Second, there's no encroachment on your own independence and the life that you're already carved out for yourself, the life that you've already made freedom. Okay, that's the other thing, while also having a companion per se at your beck and call. And third, you'll only get the best side of him and the best treatment. He doesn't have time to be anything less than, Prince Charming. Plus the possibility of feeling suffocated and bored like you might in a regular relationship. It's very slim since there's only so much that he can give. So personally, I consider that a win, all right. What else? Well, Ashley Madison, this is a site where lies just fester. Everyone on it is already lying just to be there. They're lying to their spouses, so at some point you're found to be lied to also, and you have to expect this case and point to photos. Okay, like to post photos of themselves from a while ago, which is fine, it's not so bad. This does happen on traditional dating sites as well. But once I had a guy message me who was trying to pass off a black and white photo of a young Mikhail Baryshnikov as his own. Unfortunately for him, I recognized the picture and I called him out on it. He sheepishly admitted that no, it wasn't his photo, but that, his friends told him that he resembled him. Well, I highly doubt that if their profiles aren't full of blatant lies, then they are full of cliches. So here's some examples. Looking for chemistry, looking for adventure. I want a real woman. Hey, no drama here. Want to play? How do those sound to you? Guys? They sound interesting off in their initial messages, okay. They're cut and paste introductions, which are usually full of both lies and cliches. Once I received the following message weapons of mass pleasure. Hello, I'm tall, well endowed and very fit, lots of stamina and control, intelligent, charming, and well educated. I possess the gift of gab, but also know one to keep my mouth shut. Successful professionals seek as sexually intense and passionate, fun and friendly relationship. I live a healthy lifestyle and seek a woman who does the same. I am dominant in the bedroom. Say hello if you have interest. All right. Well, when I called him out on his terrible boilerplate introduction, he responded outlaw. Well, you got me. But you must understand that this becomes a full-time job if you let it case. They're all overworked and they're all underpaid. It goes without saying that your safety should always be a priority. Obviously, giving out personal information like phone numbers and emails should be avoided unless you've built something serious. And I mean that's just true anywhere, right? But on Ashley Madison, most men are not looking to change their marriage. They don't want to change their situation. So they're going to keep quiet and move on if you're not interested. But I've had a couple of experiences of guys getting weird and sort of like stuck, like after that, I would turn them down. It's a puzzle to me why some people on this Ashley Madison site are so blind to the power that others have to really get in and mess up your life. Let's take John. After 9 or 10 months of silence, I begin receiving messages from John again. Hi, let's chat. Hey, I've been thinking of you. When I didn't reply, he'd tend to follow up. I just want to drink. Let's start the new year off right. Say yes. And then, because men can see when their messages have been opened, right? He would message me again because he knew I opened it, and maybe in caps. I still can remember that night, Dad, da. So I quickly blocked him, only to have my Gmail flooded with ardent and obsessive messages like I didn't know what I was doing the last time. But I know you live downtown. I know it. I will come to you. I need this. And well, what he needed was some good blocking and some radio silence, and I gave it to him. I wish I could say that this was the only time I ever seen messages like this. A while back, I was chatting with a guy named James on a pretty regular basis, but then I got busy, work picked up, and I sort of forgot about him. Well, James did not forget about anything, and he wanted me to know it, saying, "You've stuck in my brain even after our interaction. It was so short. I've kept you in my sights. I think you're in my journey. I have decided on you. I mean so many things," and I blocked him again quest over. Despite the exhausting river of shit okay that I nearly drowned in, it wasn't all for nothing, right? Even at John's, I managed to eat and drink very well. Even when I was broke, I was given insight into the lives of wealthy and powerful men, as they paid for everything with a dismissive toss of a credit card. I also had the privilege of getting candid with them and getting that candid glimpse into these sometimes depressing dynamics of marriage. They had things to say, and I did find out, hey, this is not for everyone, marriage myself included. But the most important thing that I saw was that most of these men who had been lucky enough to find sweet and stable women who would put up with their unsavory habits, they would take care of them no matter what. It really didn't. They really didn't want to upset the balance that they had created in their marriages. But yet there was always those excuses to cheat and why they were not happy now. I got married too early. I'm not appreciated. I think she's having an affair. I'm a sex addict. I mean, at the end of the day, you can have a lot of fun with Ashley Madison. I mean, if I believed in karma, I'd wager to say that I would most likely pay for all of this in some way down the line. But the hard truth is maybe I just won't. Maybe I can just cheat with all these married men and just get away with it no problem and move on. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this episode gave you some things to think about. Until next time, take care of your relationships and take care of yourselves.